the big muffin,
yes.
right? Which, yeah, we can all look at that and maybe our mouth waters a little bit. But if you have that for breakfast, I guarantee you by 10 o'clock in the morning, you're going to be dragging, probably feel like you could use a nap. But if you balance out your meals and don't just have all carbohydrates or white flour that's going to turn to sugar, but have some protein and some healthy fat as well, you're not only going to feel better, as you're saying, your body loves those foods and feels better, but for sure you're going to be stronger and you're going to be the one that doesn't get the flu this year. You know, and looking at that muffin, Tina, we showed examples of sugar, and that's the key thing that comes to my mind that really plays a number on your immune system. But the second big thing that suppresses your immune system is trans fats. And that muffin has trans fats. Yes. And some other sources I brought along today just to give some good visuals. If you like to bake, don't bake. No, you know, baking, use some better ingredients, some real butter, or bake with an olive oil. I have many clients that bake with olive oil instead of the processed Crisco or the processed oils. That's just a tub of trans fats. When you look at French fries.
Oh, yes.
Of course, right? A lot of people know that. Whether they're from a fast food restaurant or they're the frozen ones that you picked up at your local grocery store, they have trans fats. That's going to suppress your immune system. You're going to get the flu this year. And then the margarines. Even the ones that promote that the cardiologist is recommending them, they're made up of trans fats and bad fats. And the reason why, you know, if people want more of the science, why do those trans fats affect us in that way? They make the cell, they make the outer coating of every cell in our body hard and crusty, is the way I think of it.
So these are actually culprits of what we want to do for our body. So they're hindering a lot more than helping.
Yes, because you think then of having that rigid, hard outer membrane, and nutrients can't get in, and waste products can't get out. And so at the very cellular level, you are suppressing your immune system.
Oh. So you're hurting yourself more than helping by eating these foods.
Yes.
You know.
And I can say from experience that when you start to eat cleaner, and you can maybe attest to this too, and start to really focus on real foods and the healthy fats, you get to a point, and sometimes it might take a year, but you don't even care for the trans fats and all the sugar anymore, and your body really craves the real foods.
Right.
But it takes a period of time to kind of clean out your system.
Right. Because you feel so much better that you actually look at it and you're thinking, oh, you know, that's not worth it.
Exactly.
You know,
a moment on the lips, but you're going to not feel good for a long time afterward.
Yeah. And I know I had to watch my diet, you know, due to the fact that my dad, and so when he was actually diagnosed as a diabetic at that point in time, then I took a step back and I thought, I don't want to have to, you know, get myself insulin. I don't want to have to give a shot. You know, what can I do to be more preventative? And so that's when I decided I'm going to eat healthier. I'm going to look at my ingredients, look at the nutrition on the side, and try and do 5 great meals. And after probably 3 months, I had more energy. You know, it all comes around. And then you would look and someone would, you know, go with you through the drive-through or whatever. Oh, you want anything? No, thanks. You know, I'll wait till I get home and have an apple or a banana, or, you know, always have the food in your car.
And you could say that without feeling like you're going to be deprived, right? It's
exactly.
not that, you felt like you were suffering. You just didn't want that stuff because it doesn't make you feel good.
No, not at all. Yes.
Yeah, that's a great point. And you mentioned it when you were talking 5, you started to focus on 5 meals, and I think that's another great point for the viewers to know that instead of the typical American way of sitting down to 3 big meals, or some people only sit down to 2 meals and go those long spans of time in between without fueling their system, that's not going to do anything to support your immune system or your overall health either. Eating 5 small meals or 3 small meals and 2 snacks, if you want to look at it that way throughout the day, is much better for energy and for just overall health.
Right. Like, you know, it's so easy to grab a banana on your way out the door.
Right.
You know, something like that. You know, and then your sugar just can stay level instead of the peaks that we're doing to it with this little culprit here.
Right.
You know, things like that.
That,
you know.
Took the words right out of my mouth. We, at our office, we talk about riding the roller coaster, or the blood sugar roller coaster.
Oh, that's a good scenario. I like that, yes.
Because you hit that peak after you eat something like that muffin or the bag of potato chips, And anytime your body hits that high blood sugar, it's going to have an opposite and equal reaction, and you bottom out. And there you are, feeling sluggish, low energy. Not only that, the piece that always hits home with the women is that when you hit that low blood sugar, your body starts breaking down your own muscle to fuel itself.
Right.
That's decreasing your metabolism every time that happens.
So you're hurting yourself there too. You know, and
In
if
the
you,
long run.
And I know if you can, you know, have something in your car for those long drive home. I would get off of work and want to go and have dinner, but I get caught in rush hour traffic or something like that. So I bring a little bag of peanuts with me.
Wonderful.
So that you have something, so you don't just feel so famished when you get home and you start throwing, wrong foods into your mouth or something like that.
Then there's no holds barred if you get to that point of such a low blood sugar once you reach your house. Because, and there's real biochemistry there, when you're sitting at that low blood sugar and you open up your front door, your brain needs fuel, so it's telling your body to grab for something that's going to turn to sugar fast, and I want it now. Again, because the brain needs fuel. So those cravings are going to be really strong. You're not going to crave a stick of butter or a piece of meat at that point, but something like the chips or the bagel or the crackers that are going to turn to sugar fast, and then you always overdo it. So I love that idea. Have some peanuts in your car. I always have some almonds in my car. An even better scenario would be to combine that healthy fat, like the almonds or the peanuts, with a fruit.
Right. With an apple or even, And apples, I mean, in Minnesota,
easy to carry.
Not only easy to carry, but getting them and having them, and you can have it in your car for 3 or 4 days. Not a problem. If you don't happen to eat it that day or whatever, I have a little bag that I always bring with me with my little snacks, because my blood sugar can drop pretty quickly, and then I want to just make sure that I fuel it with the right energy food. Exactly.
Right, and so that goes back to that piece of taking a little bit of time to plan ahead. I pack my cooler every night before I leave the house. You always want to have something with you. And every once in a while life happens and you're going to get caught off guard.
Sure.
But if most of the days of the year you can pack that lunch bag, and it's going to save you money too.
Right.
And your health is going to be better and your immune system is going to be stronger. But there is something that, during the winter is a little bit harder to get through real food, and that's vitamin D.
Oh, sure. Yes.
And that one, look at how far the sun is. It feels like it's far away, once we hit fall and winter, and it is far away. And that's the best source of vitamin D, really, is the sun. That helps our body make the D.
But it seems like I grew up in California, so when I came here, don't be, but when I came here to Minnesota, I know that I needed the actual sun. But little did I know, when I was working full time, you get up in the dark, you go to work in the dark, you work. If you don't get out at lunch, you don't really see the sun. You come home in the dark, a lot of that. And I know that a lot of people were getting sun lamps to help them, and the vitamin D to enrich their bodies a little bit more.
Right.
And it does help. Even though people think they drink enough milk, calcium, you still need the vitamin D.
You need more than that. A lot of the experts are speculating that at least 80% of people in the Midwest, which is Minnesota, are deficient in vitamin D. So I encourage most of my clients to get their blood level checked by their doctor.
Sure.
Usually when you go for your annual checkup, you're getting your blood drawn anyway. That's really easy to draw a vitamin D level. And if any of you think you're going to go out and do that, I want viewers to grab a pen, because what you want to shoot for is between 50 and 100 for a vitamin D reading.
Okay.
And not all doctors are recommending that yet, I guess is the way to say it. Some doctors are saying that a lower level is okay, and we really feel from clinical experience that that's suboptimal to be below 50.
Okay.
So get your vitamin D checked for a strong immune system and shoot for between 50 and 100.
Right.
But most any Minnesotan, you can be pretty sure that you're going to need a vitamin D supplement, even if you haven't had your blood level checked during the winter months.
They're pretty inexpensive. Go buy them, try them for, 15 days, 30 days. Get your body used to it, and whatever you don't use, it gets flushed out anyway. So
Right. And we generally recommend that with vitamin D, you start somewhere, Minnesota wintertime, somewhere between 2,000 international units and 5,000